All right, the San Diego real estate market is seeing a slight dip as sales and the median price for a home fell last month. Compass Realtor Kara Kay joins us now with the latest and what we can expect in the future. How you doing, Kara?
I'm good. How are you, Jason?
I'm great. Back in person, no Zooms.
This is so nice. It's refreshing. It is. Take it for granted.
So tell us about the market and where we are right now.
Yeah, so this is going to be major clickbait because it seems like everything's going down, down, down except for interest rates, which has some truth to it. You know, sales prices are what we've seen go down just a little bit, which is what everyone's really focused on. Our median sales price went from $865,000 to $860,000. And it's only a $5,000 difference in the whole scheme of things. But sales overall have dipped. And that's what people are hinging on, because that's the 16% in the last month and 10% over the last year is what the change has been. And that's because of the limited inventory that we're still seeing.
That was my next question. What are we looking at inventory-wise?
Inventory in comparison to 2021, we're still down 9% from then. So we still have about a 1.1 month supply of inventory. And as you might know, a normal market is 5 months or 6 months even.
Sure.
It's just been so long since we've seen that. So it truly still comes down to the supply and demand. And despite the numbers going down a little bit, I truly see a trajectory of numbers going up, just maybe not at the same trajectory we've seen for the last 2 years because of the pent-up COVID.
Mm-hmm. Are we still seeing multiple offer situations, bidding wars?
We are, just not as often. So for a period of time, we had 20 offers on properties, and now we're seeing it's more of a buyers and sellers being a little bit more fair to each other. So it's still a really great time to be in that market. It's reminiscent of what we've seen in the past, where buyers can get creative. Sellers still, it's a really great time because interest rates are still pretty historically low. But yeah, it's multiple offers on certain properties and not on others.
Yeah, but as you mentioned, interest rates are clicking up, and it looks like they're going to go in that direction for a while. Huh?
Most definitely. For a 30-year conforming loan, I guess depending on your credit score, it's anywhere from 5.1 to 5.5%. And so if you look at it over time, it's fine. But if you're comparing it to what we just saw, the lowest, if you see it on a graph, what we just saw was the lowest of the low, and now we're just ticking up from that. So it's not as bad, but it is when you compare it to the 2 to 3 that we just saw not too long ago.
You mentioned the median price going down $5,000. Okay. What would you say to somebody who's on the fence about selling their house and go, whoa, it's going down. I need to get on this and sell a house now. But then you got to get into something else.
Sure. So it's an investment, right? No matter what, you can't time it out necessarily. I don't want anybody to panic sell because I don't see this market going down. I think what we might see a year from now is a market that might be similar to what it is today. So if it is in somebody's best interest to sell and take advantage of the market, I just say look at what your next move is going to be. Because a lot of people want to rent and wait for this bubble to burst, but I think they're going to find themselves in the same position next year as we're seeing right now, with maybe just a little bit higher interest rates.
Flip side of the coin, somebody is saying, hey, you know, prices are coming down, this is the time to buy. And we get into, as we just mentioned, the multiple bidding situation. If somebody finds themselves into a multiple bidding situation, a multiple offer situation, I should say, what is your advice to them? How should they handle that?
Yeah, a lot of it has to do with the price, but there are other components you can put with it, like contingencies. So you've got a loan contingency, an appraisal contingency, an inspection contingency. In a normal market, which we're seeing a little bit more now, you can have all of those in place. So you can shorten them a little bit. Just make sure you're talking with your lender and your realtor as to what's the most practical amount of time you can do, but there are other things that you can do. The letters are kind of out now. Some sellers actually really like them because they want their home to go to somebody great. But aside from price, there are other things you can do: length of escrow, bigger down payment. You can get really creative, so just lean on your realtor to know what might be the best move to make.
You could shorten the escrow period.
You can, and it's really important for your agent to ask what the seller wants, right? Do they need a rent back? Do they want a short escrow? So it's a lot of it is really good communication and having a really professional realtor representing you.
Yes.
Because there's an agent on the other side. They want to work with great buyers, great agent, and somebody that will carry it through to the end.
My wife and I bought a townhouse 5 years ago. The listing agent on the house listed another one down the road. We went and just curious, you know, like you do as your neighbors. You want to see what they're asking for it. That agent told me, she goes, oh yeah, I listed that house. She goes, we had multiple offers. You guys, one of the biggest reasons that you guys got it is because your agent was such a pro.
See?
Yes, it really matters.
It happens a lot, and I get deals because the agent has said the other agent was such a nightmare to deal with.
Yes.
And buyers and clients don't know that that's happening. It's all behind the scenes.
Right.
So it really is important. That's awesome that you bought 5 years ago.
All right, Kara Kay. Hey, it's great seeing you again.
Likewise.
Thanks for the
Thank you.
update. Really
Thanks.
appreciate it.